Alright boys, we got 100% confirmation for Record of Ragnarok's round 10 winner, new fighter design reveals, and various hints for the next matchup in Record of Ragnarok, the main series and the Apocalypse of the Gods. Let's go over everything. So this is the final panel of round 10 Okita Tsuji vs Susanoo, which 100% confirms that Okita is the official winner, meaning the scores are now tied again. 5 wins to humanity and 5 wins to the gods. Susanoo is no more, erased from existence. However, a piece of his sword remains, which is pretty interesting. And Okita's state at the end of the fight here highlights that this was probably the closest fight we've ever had in Record of Ragnarok, as in all the others prior, the winner is for the most part conscious. We had the likes of Zeus fall on his knees and major damage sustained for characters like Hu Wang. However, all of them were still conscious, while Okita is face down on the floor, seemingly knocked out. This will probably play a part in his demon, but we're going to have to wait for the full chapter and translation to know whether Okita Tsuji is going to survive, which I personally hope not, due to the pre-established stuff about his demon that's been claimed by Brunhilde and himself throughout the fight, alongside making his victory over Susanoo more extreme difficulty. He had to give up his life once again for humanity to claim that victory, something that would be a good send-off. However, we're gonna have to wait and see. Susanoo I had quite a few issues with in regards to him being a glazer, but one thing for sure is that he was an absolute monster and beast of a god who was able to achieve his lifelong goal during his fight in round 10 here. But now going over who could potentially be the round 11 fighters, the most popular prediction from the fandom and even mentioned by the leakers as well is ANUBIS, the one who was going to fight right now in round 10 but got cucked by Susanoo. We see him in some of the leaked panels here enjoying the fight, as he's done in pretty much every other panel, fiending to have his turn. So I do think it's going to be him, and we got some very interesting panels about the possible humanity fighter. The leakers are claiming that this reaction shot from Gol and Brunhilde is for the next human fighter, meaning we could be getting it revealed in the full chapter when it does drop, which is beyond hype. Looking at their reaction, let's go over who it could possibly be. Nostradamus, I'll say no, as he was already prior introduced to the story. We already saw Brunhilde's reaction to Nostradamus and got the claim that he is pretty much the Joker, someone that Brunhilde is saving for a specific match most likely. I'm guessing it's Odin, but we'll have to wait and see, meaning it's probably someone we've yet to be revealed to, Rasputin and Simo in the main story. Kintoki has other stuff going on alongside Buddha and the broader plotline in regards to Siegfried. My theory about him is that with the help of Buddha, they're going to break into Tartarus and release Siegfried at some point, which is going to be a subplot potentially during the next round, meaning he won't be fighting next, and I don't think Brunhilde would have this specific reaction to him. Due to my natural bias and what I've wanted since chapter like 3 of Record of Ragnarok 5 or so years ago when I started covering it here on the channel, our boy Rasputin, this is a reaction I would want to see. The matchup between him and ANUBIS is something I predicted most of us have waited for all these years. However, with that said as well, I could see a battle between the God of Death and the White Death Simo occurring as well, and I wouldn't really complain at all. I just hope we get one of them revealed in this chapter and we don't have to wait until next month. So leave your predictions down below. It's definitely going to be some crazy stuff. I also wonder what the other Shinsengumi are going to do in the story moving forward, particularly Izami, who was introduced alongside Okita and has been shown with him since that initial reveal, making him much more important compared to all the other side characters introduced for other human fighters in the series, at least to me. We also have the protagonist of the Requiem of the Shinsengumi manga, who was shown in a bonus chapter during this fight. He didn't appear alongside the other Shinsengumi, but in the bonus one he was more so annoyed that he wasn't chosen to fight in Ragnarok. So perhaps him showing absolute respect to Okita and joining up with the other Shinsengumi will be occurring in the full chapter as well. Now it's time to go over the insanity that occurred in the Apocalypse of the Gods. So as many of you know, the first fight of the series concluded, Ra was dominating Cuchulainn for the first few chapters, but then in the previous he entered his berserker-like state and absolutely destroyed Ra, claiming victory, which left a lot of people stunned and disappointed in regards to the side manga. However, we now have the next fight about to begin. The first fighter, which we already know, is Wukong. Now in the leaks here for chapter 5, we got his opponent's design reveal. This is Prometheus. Right away, this is not what I expected, but to be fair, I don't know what I was thinking. He is once again another Greek god, the Titan of Fire or the God of Fire in Greek mythology. And as many of you probably already noticed, he does look very similar to the likes of Leonidas, which is a strange choice as fandom wise, Leonidas was probably one of the most controversial design choices. At least when his fight versus Apollo was occurring, that was a comment I kept seeing over and over of people complaining about how Leonidas looked. But now we have this dude, who right as he was revealed does have some aura and gains everyone's attention, so he's definitely pretty strong. This includes Wukong, his opponent, Zeus, Morrigan, Indra, this dude, and of course Cuchulainn, who is still getting more protagonist allegations and vibes. We see his state after he officially defeated Ra, which does highlight it was indeed a high difficulty fight where he took a pretty insane beating, just potentially having the most overpowered attack at the end, as I broke down in this video if you guys haven't watched. We see that he's recovered already, maybe a little bit of a time skip, ready to watch the fights. I do hope he isn't particularly the protagonist. However, this is giving pretty heavy vibes. For the battle between Wukong and Prometheus, a lot of us are predicting that Wukong is going to be the winner. It's going to be quite rage-inducing for many if he was to lose in his first fight, but again, people also have issue with his design, alongside many wanting him still to have a monkey transformation at some point, which I do also hope is the case myself. Outside of that, we got this official volume cover for the Apocalypse of the Gods. We see the round 1 fight, we see Indra facing off against Zeus. Zeus isn't officially part of the tournament, but it's theorized based on the reveals in chapter 1 that the winner of this tournament will end up facing Zeus for the finale of the Apocalypse of the Gods, and maybe will be included into the main series for a future god fighter, but that isn't 100% confirmed. It's somewhat implied based on what was told in the story. However, we do know Zeus was the final fighter added to the roster, so who knows exactly. But more interesting, at the top we see Wukong facing Morrigan, two characters who have been very prevalent since chapter 1 and are on the same bracket, which may be hinting at the potential final fight for this side, as it is a possibility, but that would mean Wukong may have to defeat Cuchulainn, which would actually set up the fight with Morrigan as another Celtic or Irish god who has history with Cuchulainn as revealed in the previous chapter, so that all would be pretty interesting. And before letting you guys leave and watch some of this other Record of Ragnarok content, check out the new Gamer Subs drop while using code MWEEB for a nice discount that also supports this content and the channel as a whole. Shout out to these members, the absolute mad lads. That's it guys, peace.